getting catfished was sort of the best thing that ever happened to me.
He lost his virginity at a Justin Bieber concert.
Oh! What's been your all-time craziest catfish experience story?
I think I maybe sort of feels like a cheap answer, but for me, it's still my own experience. A lot of people haven't seen that or don't even realize that the reason I'm hosting the show is because I myself got catfished in sort of a very epic way back in 2008. And so while we've seen wild stuff both past and present on the show, and this season is no shortage of unexpected, very unusual twists and turns, I still think that the woman who catfished me and the story she came up with and the characters and the profiles and the phone numbers and the whole thing was I still sometimes think about it and I'm just, flabbergasted.
There have been so many that I've seen just as a fan, but I think anytime you have a returning catfish, it's just like,
oh yeah.
We had one last season and, we might have more.
What has your experience over the last 10 years taught you about what you want to teach your children about being safe on the internet?
Obviously, in my case, getting catfished was sort of the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think it's important to remember that even though we might now have the ability to avoid or teach kids differently or steer them away from experiences, I think those mistakes that you make when you're a teenager or in your 20s are important. And that's the sort of character building stuff that teaches you what you either need to learn or want to learn. It's going to be up to my kids to figure out whether or not they want to have an internet relationship or not. And, I'll certainly sit them down and show them the documentary, but I think you got to make your own decisions and make your own mistakes.
I just know that there's so much out there and there's a lot of great opportunities on the internet, but there's also some, scary people out there that you have to watch out for. And, you just never want to put yourself in any kind of compromising situation when you're out there trying to get a job or, start a career. Also take advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. There's great networking opportunities there. I've met some of my best friends on the internet. One of my best friends in the world, I DM'd him and I was like, I want to be your friend. And he was like, I want to be your friend. And we've been best friends for like 6 years. So, you never know.
Well, I'm honored that you consider me your best friend, Kamie.
Oh my God. Well, yes. And you. Although when I did get the job, when I found out about hosting the first episode that I ever guest hosted, I did think that I was getting catfished. So I am thrilled, Nev, that you were real and this was real and we're still here. I definitely thought it was fake.
We're going to make an entire episode of Catfish remotely.
The format is, the same kind of catfish that the fans love, but just a different kind of intensity and, all over just a different format. So really exciting, but obviously very different because we're not face-to-face with each other or with other people. So that makes it a little bit interesting. Definitely some technical difficulties along the way, but we always make it through and it's really exciting.
Can each of you tease a favorite moment from the season?
Well, I've been teasing Kamie about it since it happened, but Kamie, I guess now famously lost her cool. As she has in the past. To be fair, I really shouldn't say that. She didn't lose her cool. She stood her ground and she spoke up for herself, and it created a heated moment between her and one of the catfish on the show. And Kamie made the probably mature decision to remove herself from the conversation after it was made clear to her that the gentleman we were talking to had no interest in speaking to her any longer. So she left me. She just abandoned me on the Zoom call. I had to figure it out by myself.
You did great. I can't just sit there and talk to a sexist. It's like talking to a brick wall. It just was not going to work. Right. So that will definitely be an interesting moment. That was a highlight for me because, I think as a Black woman, I'm used to defending, being Black, but being a woman isn't something that I really feel like I have to defend all that often. In this particular episode, right. He took me there, that's for sure. But, I feel like I represented for all the strong women out there. And that.
You made us all proud.
there's so many really great moments. We also have a happy ending this season, which, you know, I think a lot of people who watch the show love the drama. It's exciting to see, you know, ups and downs, but when things actually can possibly blossom into something beautiful and, you know, real love can potentially happen, I love to see that every once in a while. We need like a sprinkle of hope in there.
Especially these days, yeah.